So is it biblical to look for a wife in another country? We're going to get to the heart of the matter here. So is it, in biblical alignment to want to date abroad, to go abroad to date? And I know what you're feeling. You're feeling a lot of questions, guilt, like, is this even right? You're going to deal with a lot of social stigma for even considering this position, especially in Christian circles, okay? Where you get the replies, well, there's lots of good girls at your church. Why are you looking to date abroad? Why are you looking to do this? You don't need to do that. You're just desperate. Right? You're going to get all these sort of retorts and complaints. Well, let's just look at this from a biblical perspective. There's nothing in the Bible that says that you can't, date abroad, that you can't look for a wife in a different country. So just dispel those myths immediately. And even in the Bible, we actually see patterns of certain patriarchs throughout the Bible. Abraham, Joseph, Boaz, where they actually find wives from different cultures, right? What does the Bible tell us about marriage? What can we actually know from Scripture? One, we know marriage is a covenant agreement before God. It's something that says, I am in this for life with another person, to be with them through the worst and the best times. And we're making this covenant with you, God, that this is a representation or an image of your marriage or Christ's marriage to the church. This is a lesser image of that, and a holy covenant made with you and the church to be the best image of that. That's what we know what marriage is from the Bible. Secondly, we know that believers shouldn't be unequally yoked, right? That's another big one. The Bible makes a point of that. And that can come in different forms, but we know that whether it's the man and the woman or the woman and the man, if they have different levels of faith and belief and practice, and it's not in alignment with the other, we know that marriage is likely going to be in trouble. It's going to be difficult for it to succeed. And then the third one is we typically shouldn't, in most cases, date and marry outside of the faith. Obviously, there's circumstances where that can work, but generally that's what's encouraged. That kind of is wrapped up in the equally yoked segment. So those are some three main bullet points we get from the Bible about marriage. There's nothing in the Bible about you must marry within your close geographical distance or border. Now, that's typically how things have been done. And I think that makes the most sense for most people. I actually don't have a problem with that. It keeps cultures cohesive. You're most likely to be in alignment if you're in the same country and from the same culture. So there's a lot of advantages and pros to that. But in extra normative circumstances, which is what we're kind of living in now, some of those things are kind of getting thrown out the window, as the other three main things, specifically being equally yoked and wanting to be fruitful and multiply and build a family. With those things at threat, these other things kind of get swept to the wayside, because now what the marriage covenant means is under attack. It's under threat. And so there's nothing in the Bible that says you can't date abroad and you can't be a Christian passport bro. But why does that term passport bro have so many negative connotations? Well, the term comes with a lot of baggage, if we're being real, okay? When most people think of what passport bros are, typically more hedonistic dudes that are thought to take advantage of women from other countries, more traditional cultures overseas, right? But that's why I'm trying to push forward a better, more biblical idea of this concept, the passport bro or the Christian passport bro. And so it can work, and it's perfectly biblical for Christian men as long as they do it in a way that honors God. Okay, so you have to keep this in mind. You shouldn't become a passport bro and date abroad if you want to take advantage of women, if you want to enjoy a hedonistic lifestyle for a fraction of the cost, to ignore responsibilities in your home country, or to simply just ignore life in general because you can. Okay, those are dishonorable ways to do it, in my opinion. But there's a very honorable way that you can go about it. And there's a very honorable way that you can date overseas, be a Christian passport bro, however you want to frame the conversation. And, there's some common pitfalls and traps And it's very difficult to get started at first. That's why I put together a free training. I've got 6 amazing videos on getting your life started abroad as a Christian man. So you should check that out in the description box down below. I really would have liked that guide when I started out. It's my best material. I thought I was going to sell it, but I'm giving it away for free. So go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested. But like I said, there's a very honorable way to do this and to honor God. If you're looking for another Christian woman who's equally yoked with you, who is traditional, beautiful, feminine, wants a family and wants that with you, and wants to make that a reality and honor God in that way. If you're doing it for those motivations, if you're doing it for the motivations of escaping the hedonistic, consumeristic Western culture that has you slaving at a job, unable to allow you to enjoy life, enjoy time with your friends, and serve God in the best way possible because you're inputting numbers into a spreadsheet for a company that hates you and promotes satanic evil things in the country, okay? So if you're doing it for those reasons, that's how you can be honorable in this Christian passport bro movement. Okay, so those are the 2 big differences there. Now, the biggest challenge, I think, for a lot of guys is getting over the stigma of this. Now, maybe it's changing and it's growing as people are kind of waking up to the dating epidemic, and even in Christian circles that this is happening. Maybe people are a little more open to this sort of lifestyle. But for a lot of guys, they do not want to be perceived as desperate or cheating or being dismissive of the women in their own country. And that can be a big hurdle for guys to get over. And all I can say to that is at some point, you have to take responsibility of your life and go, you know what? Some people are going to think some things about me. Some people are going to say some things about me, but I don't care. But I don't care because I know I'm confident. I've prayed about this. I've sought wisdom from men older than me. I've thought a lot about this decision, and I'm confident in it. And I'm going to go boldly. I'm going to be boundless as I move forward. That's how you have to think about it. And like I said, for some men, because the situation may be so difficult, dating-wise, that it's not a hard decision for them. And for some, it may be more challenging to get over the stigma. But that's all I could say to that is take ownership of it. Know that many men feel like you and have the same feelings about it as you do, but are unable to take action, but are unable to get past that feeling. And I'm just here to encourage you, hey, you can go past it. You can go beyond and make it a reality. So that's why I'm here to encourage you for that. But like I said, it's got to be for the right motivations. It's got to be the intention for biblical marriage, not sleeping around, not being hedonistic, not just living it up, okay? It has to be directed, poignant, okay? Biblically aligned. That's what this channel is about. Another easy way to know if this is for you is before you try this dating abroad situation, if you're a man in the USA, you need to try dating in the US first. And you need to do it biblically, try and date Christian women, and see if that works first. Because you need to see if that works first for you. Because one, it's going to be a lot easier for your life, actually, if you're able to find your spouse here and your wife here, okay? Being a boundless disciple, going and dating abroad, it can end up being better for you, but I didn't say it was easy. Okay, I never said it was easy. That's why I put together the free training for you guys. But after going through that experience and dating in America and trying it and seeing what it's like, then you can make that decision with confidence and with data and with experiences to back it up. So when people ask, well, why are you considering this lifestyle? Why are you considering doing this? You can just say, hey, I tried dating in America. I tried dating the Christian women here. It just didn't work. It just wasn't aligned with me. And you can give them that response. If you've never dated ever, okay, it's a tougher sell. Not saying it's wrong, but I would highly recommend you give that a shot first. But after you've gone through those steps and you've outlined your purpose for why you're doing it and why you want to join this movement, after you do that, you can make your decision with confidence, pray about it, sit on it, and then just go forward. Go forward boldly, knowing this is what I'm meant to do. This is my path forward for now, until God tells me and redirects me otherwise. So those are easy ways to get over the stigma, the second thoughts, the idea that, people are going to think X and Y and Z. like I said, at some point you got to take responsibility of your life and where you're at. No more complaining, no more excuses. Okay, look, I hope it gets better in the US. It really does. I really do. I do hope the situation improves, but that's no guarantee. There are no guarantees in life like that. So all you can do is what you can do and take advantage of your own life and start looking into your options and how you can improve your life in the best way possible and not blaming somebody else for it, putting your trust in God. So thank you for watching this video. Like I said, if you need some quick training and introduction on how to start living a biblically based life abroad, I've got a free training down below. 6 excellent videos that dive into how to do it from start to finish and start thriving abroad in 30 days. So thank you so much for watching. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.